Hello, fellow RPG geeks. It's Tim again, SamY7. I hope you guys enjoyed the Promulgate Chaos video I just put up. I enjoyed making it. I want to talk today about Hunter the Reckoning, which is the old World of Darkness game where you essentially play mortals that have been slightly empowered by some random force. There's lots of fiction in the beginning and throughout the books trying to describe what this mysterious force is. Something there. This force is like aliens. Something it's some divine deity that's empowering humans. Others just think it's some just mythical force, some ancient whatever. So there's lots of theories as far as what is empowering people, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of nice that there's no one strict way for players to kind of figure out what this force is. When I played it, this mythical force that was talking to you, showing you messages on signs, highlighting what's going on around you, and I don't know. For me, that force for me was Dave Mustaine. For the non-metalheads out there, that he's the lead singer of Megadeth. So for me, in my character, I got all these messages via the radio or a CD player telling me where the monsters were, what's going on, some random vague messages. So for me, this mythological force was Dave Mustaine, and I had a lot of fun with that. Whenever I wanted to, my character was always listening to their entire discography, all their CDs. So that was kind of a nice thing in the campaign where I could come up with my own source of this mythological force that was telling us there's monsters around us. So maybe I jumped into it a little feet first, but so Hunter the Reckoning is a modern game set in the World of Darkness setting, which is essentially a copy of modern day the modern day world, except worse. Pollution's were it's a ton worse. There's all these creatures that are pulling the strings like a puppet master. The vampires, the werewolves are running around in the woods and so forth, and you're pretty much you don't stand a chance one-on-one against a vampire or one-on-one against a werewolf, especially not a werewolf. But Hunter tried to incorporate, the group dynamic, try to find one monster and take it out as a group. But that's kind of there's different philosophies in Hunter the Reckoning. There's different creeds. A creed is kind of like sort of like a character class, except it's kind of vague and there really isn't a lot of structure. Some of the divine powers that you can get, if you want to call them divine, basically just hunter powers, you get depending on your creed. There were 7 creeds. I'll just see. I got a bunch of books. There's Avenger, which is kind of your kill them all and let God sort them out kind of character class. They have a lot of powers that are offensive. There's the Defender, which pretty much they want to defend humanity against this common scourge, the evil force that's out there. They have some interesting powers as well. The Innocent, they I had one player play this class. Most people didn't like it. They thought it was too, I don't know. They just didn't care for it. Kind of like the Innocent is, let's get to know their feelings. Let's try to help them out. I think they hide. I think the one power was like hide, which was kind of impressive. It kind of worked out well. But other than that, I don't really care for that philosophy myself. There's the Judge that is kind of like the Avenger, except he's willing to weigh every situation out. He's not just going to kill you all the time. He might say, okay, well, this guy's a special case, so we're going to give him a pass because he's actually trying to do some good. But yeah, they definitely kick some ass. The Martyr, this is the class that I played. They're willing to sacrifice themselves for the cause. They have no problem running up and being the last man standing while everyone else is hightailing it out of there to, save their own skins. So that was a fun class to play. I enjoyed that. I like to play characters that die, so Martyr was right up my alley. The Redeemer is kind of like the Innocent in that they want to find something good within the monsters that are out there. They're not so quick to judge. They listen. They put themselves in risky situations sometimes to find, if there's any good in these creatures, to try to find the humanity in these creatures. So it's interesting. They don't just shoot everything. I think it's a little harder to play, especially when you run up against monsters that are truly, just going to mess you up. But it's a challenge, so I kind of like it for that aspect. The Visionary basically goes through and he gets little hints, even more hints than the Second Sight gives you. Second Sight is kind of like you can turn it on with the power set of Conviction, and you can see or get hints of what the monsters are. You can find out, which humans are actually humans and which ones are just, monsters passing for humans. But the Visionary, you can find out things like, this stuff really messes them up, or, it's an interesting class. It's kind of like, it's almost like prophecy, sort of. Well, maybe not prophecy, but divine revelation a little bit in there. Again, but it doesn't have to be divine. It can be Dave Mustaine. And they put out other books. There's lots of Hunter books. All of them have the red flames and the shotgun shells, if you can kind of make that out. Yeah, I know that the text is backwards. Tetsu told me about that. It's just a webcam that I'm filming on, so sorry, you're going to read stuff backwards. Like the band on my shirt. But I really liked Hunter. I liked the concept. For a long time, I didn't really want to play the vampire and the werewolf games, and but I've come around to that. Like I said, I'm actually running a vampire and werewolf game right now. So for me, I enjoyed the concept of humanity versus the monsters. And really, if you're a D&D player and you want to try to get into World of Darkness, this would probably be the easiest step, because it's the same kind of mindset. Go out and kill the monsters for the most part. Like I said, some of the creeds, talk to them and try to save them and fix them or help them. But overall, it's kind of like a monster hunting or monster interaction game as a human. Some of the biggest complaints about the game were that some of the powers suck, and it's just how it is. In the Creed books, though, they give you optional powers, which are interesting, and you can swap them in and out. Like, I want this Creed, or I want this power instead of this. So those are worth checking out. And there's lots of fun fiction in there. White Wolf is always known for having great fiction in their books. Some of it, some of the fonts get a little annoying sometimes. They're hard to read, but for the most part, they put out great books. I'm really a fan of White Wolf, and I've bought a lot of their books, so they're just awesome. They also put a lot of free PDFs on, like Drive-Thru RPG. I just got the new World of Darkness PDF free. I think it's like for another 3 days after I made this video, that you can probably still get it. But as far as New World of Darkness goes, the Hunter, the Vigil, I don't know why, but I can't get into it. I prefer the older Hunter better. Maybe I just need to, I don't know, maybe I just need more exposure to it. I think if I was going to run a Hunter game in New World of Darkness, I think I would almost rather play Mortals, just the core World of Darkness book, and just really crank up, the horror to 11, where you don't have any powers. You're just, Joe Schmo with a shotgun. So that's how I probably do Hunter in the New World of Darkness, which is the core book. So that was Hunter the Reckoning. I like it.